We've all been there. The exciting thought of traveling somewhere, making you feel like you can't control yourself. You want to explore, travel, and learn. Through all of these emotions, danger awaits. Elisa Lam was born April 30th, 1991 in Vancouver, Canada. She was a student at the University of British Columbia. On January 26, 2013, Elisa Lam officially arrived in LA. This was her solo trip to explore the West Coast. The trip was a getaway from college. Lam made a compromise with her family to check in every day, just to let her family know that she was safe, and to tell them how the trip was going. Lam chose to stay at the infamous Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel has quite a history though. The Cecil Hotel was opened in 1927. After 1931, it gained a reputation to have many deaths. The name of the hotel now changed to Stay on Main to get away from its tragic past. The Cecil Hotel had two killers that stayed there. Those two are Richard Ramirez in 1985 and Jack Unterweger in 1991. The murder of Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Delilah, took place there too. Much more happened there, but that could be a video in itself. Elisa Lam called her parents for 3 days, but by the fourth day, no call occurred. Lam was originally going to stay in a room with other roommates, but because of her odd behavior, they moved her to her own separate room. On the last day of her trip, she never checked out of her room. She was supposed to be on her flight by now. That's when the police had to get involved. This wasn't like her. Many of you might not recognize her name, but the video that accompanies her case is extremely popular. Many don't understand why she's acting so paranoid in the video. It seems like someone is chasing her. She looks like she's hiding from something or someone. After viewing the unsettling video, Lam disappeared. Days went by with no trace of her. Police still didn't know if she was still at the hotel or hundreds of miles away. Whatever the case was, she was still missing, and searches were slowing down rapidly. Then, a problem occurred. The water pressure at the hotel began to slow down drastically. The water looked oddly tinted. For some, it was even black. The people who drank and used the tap water complained that it tasted off. Soon after the complaints, Lam was found dead. On February 19th, Elisa Lam was found by maintenance worker Santiago Lopez. Lopez found the body decomposing in the water tank. The body was located 2 weeks after the video was published. The hotel claims that there is no possible way on the roof, besides a locked door that only employees knew the passcode to. Police could not get a full autopsy, so they ended up ruling her death an accidental drowning. For some though, that answer doesn't make sense. There are many theories that go along with Elisa Lam's death, but today we will be only discussing 3. Just a side note, these are all theories, so none of these are proven completely true. The most rational theory to go along with the disappearance of Lam is the thought that she might have had an episode. Elisa was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. She was assigned meds to help cope with these diagnoses. It is strongly believed that Lam took at least one antidepressant on the day that she went missing. Many, though, don't think she took an antipsychotic recently. This would mean she is not taking her medications properly, and this would strongly increase the risk of manic side effects. The biggest evidence of this is her strange behavior during the elevator video. That would also explain why Lam was forced to have her own separate room. The biggest flaw to this, though, is how she ended up on the roof, and how did she get in the water tank? The autopsy they concluded showed no foul play. But the biggest problem is they could not examine her completely, because her body was decomposing. This leads us onto our second theory. The story of Elisa Lam doesn't add up in a lot of ways. For example, you notice how Lam started to push every single button, but the doors never shut? Well, what's really disturbing is the doors start to shut slightly, but then eventually opens back up. It's very odd for this to happen, because a typical elevator shuts seconds after you press the button. Something else very odd about this elevator is once Elisa leaves, the elevator doors shut. To me, it seems like someone might be controlling the elevator, and whoever is supposedly messing with the elevator might have been the murderer of Elisa Lam. Another odd thought is how only one camera in the hotel captures Elisa before her disappearance. The Cecil Hotel is a fairly large hotel, and only one camera caught her? That doesn't add up. In a certain part, it looks like Elisa Lam is trying to talk, but it's really pixelated, making it impossible to read her lips. This could be an example of possible editing. One other key detail is that the roof access requires a code that only the employees know. Does that mean an employee killed Elisa Lam? We probably will never know, but it's something to think about at the very least. This may be the most outlandish of the theories, but the evidence that supports it is oddly compelling. As soon as Elisa enters the elevator, she starts pressing buttons in a very strange way. To some, it even looks like she's putting in some code. The Elvator Game is a game that supposedly takes you to another dimension. The game requires an elevator that can go at least 10 levels high, in an extremely strict order in which to hit the buttons. Then a lady should walk in, but you must not look at her, speak, or even check if she's there. Many who believe in this theory believe that Lam possibly messed up with it and she knows her fate is coming. You can tell the fear just by the way she acts before she leaves. Another possibility is that Lam ended up in the new dimension, but she somehow appeared in the water tank. Of course, all of this is speculation. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this theory though. It's sad to say, but most cases like this wound up never being solved. It's an incredible mystery nonetheless. Whatever the truth is behind her death, it has distraught her family. I hope someday answers will come out, but for now, it'll always be known as an accidental drowning. Thank you guys so much for the support through these past few weeks. I can't really explain why I took a break, but it felt good. I feel like the main reason I took a break was I was stressing myself too much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. I really loved the story of Elisa Lam, but the sad truth is that she's sadly gone. Whatever the answer is, it doesn't change that. If you guys have any personal theories in the comments, or you just want to share your opinion, feel free to do so. I enjoy reading all your comments, and it brings comfort to me to know that so many of you enjoy what I do. Also, if you guys know any other mysteries or disappearances you'd like me to cover, please let me know either through my Insta or through the comments. Once again guys, thank you so much for your support. Stay safe, and bye.